Good morning, all my winners. Thursday, May 25th, here, bringing another episode of Break the Board to you. I'm your host, John Cole, where we go through everything in every sport on the slate today, breaking it down for all you hardcore gamblers out there to give you the best insight. Last night, another tough night, 1-3. I said yesterday on the show I was done with hockey. The hockey under had been 5-1 in the conference finals. So I said, all these games hadn't even, gotten over 4 for the Panthers Hurricanes for the most part. So I'm going to take the under 5.5, give it out. And as lo and behold, sometimes when you're off, you're just off and you don't have any, you just can't pick a winner with tomorrow's newspaper. And that's me right now. Congratulations though to the Florida Panthers. Would have much rather they got it done 3-2, but hey, 4-3. They will move on to the Stanley Cup Finals to more than likely play the Vegas Golden Knights as the Golden Knights play Game 4 tonight against the Dallas Stars as they take a commanding 3-0 series lead back into Dallas today. Hockey, I'm just done, man. Though if I had to play the game, I do like the Stars to avoid the sweep. Minus $1.20 right now. 53% of the bets are on the Stars, 69% of the handle. 47% of the bets on the Knights, 31% of the handle. That line's actually up to 132, comeback plus 120 on the Vegas Golden Knights. So that would be my lean there. But again, there's just I can't do any more hockey. So where I should have finished 20-24 last night, I'll now finish 20-25. So been a horrible hockey season. Can't run from that, but hey, like I said, some way, somehow we'll still finish 150 games over. It's just a matter of, how do we get there? And I always say that, last year had a great NHL playoffs, great NBA playoffs. This year, not so much. So, but congratulations to the Florida Panthers. Again, the Stars, short favored tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. On the hardwood, the Boston Celtics figured out a way to win a game. They will now go back home here for Game 5 tonight. The line opened up 7.5. It's up to plus 8.5. Right now, 16% of the bets on the Celtics, 48% of the handle, 84% of the bets on the Miami Heat, 52% of the handle. Over-under sets at 215.5. Right now, 81% of the bets to the over, 77% of the handle to the over. So people loving the over. And even though the handle's about even, overwhelming amount of bets on the Miami Heat plus the 8.5. And yet that line still seems to keep creeping up. Look, as far as breaking this game down, Boston got that win in Game 4. The whole don't let us win one. I'm a huge Boston Celtics fan. I'm here to tell you they're not coming back. No way, no how. Even if they forced a Game 7, Miami's got the better coach. They got the better stud in Jimmy Butler. They got the more focused team, right? So, and look, Boston's been like this all year. Boston's been erratic all year long. They were hot, but this back half of the season, actually, ever since Mazzulla got his contract, this thing has just been, one night they win by 30, the next night, they blow a 13-point lead and lose. So that's just been the Boston Celtics. And I expect no different tonight. Even if they are able to get a win, I think 8.5, 9 points is way too much, right? I think this is a barn burner. I think Miami wants to hurry up and get it over with. However, with that being said, though, I could see Boston maybe pulling a win out tonight, maybe. But again, Miami's finishing this thing, even if it was to go back to Boston for a Game 7. And I don't believe in that all the pressure's on Miami to get it done Game 6. If that was the case, we would not have had a horrible NBA and NHL playoffs. Because guess what? I followed the Lakers when, they got to have this win or it's all over. I followed the Celtics. I got to have this win or it's all over. You got to take the Warriors here. It's all over. This is the perfect spot for the Stars. This is the perfect spot for, the Boston Bruins or whoever, right? It hasn't worked out that way in not one game this whole playoffs on both sides. So that whole just because they need the game, and I was thinking about this. This is why a lot of times and we experienced this in football till the 6-0 Super Bowl day. We had a phenomenal football season, but struggled a little bit in the playoffs. Because you think that for whatever reason, your mind shifts. Oh, they got to have the game, or oh, this is important for that doesn't change anything, folks. People don't play any harder. Like if you're on the field or you're on the court or you're on the ice, if you just halfway do things out there, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get injured. Once guys step onto the gridiron or step into the arena, it's go time, right? Like it's like this whole, well, they find another gear. Maybe, but not that much, right? So again, that's why trends in history are so important. If you had looked back and said, everybody's surprised about the Miami Heat, look, they've been in this 3 of the last 4 years. They got to a finals in the bubble, right? If not for Jimmy Butler missing a shot and being hurt last year, maybe they're in the finals against the Warriors. Maybe we're talking about Boston still trying to even get to the finals itself. So there's a lot of dynamics in it. Miami's not blowing a 3-0 lead. Yes, do I think at some point in time this is going to happen? But I don't see it happening right now. BetOnline is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, right to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from the comfort of your own home. Head to the website or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BLEAV, that's capital B, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So I'd like to thank BetOnline, our sponsor there, for all they do, and the Believe Network for all you do. Appreciate it very, very much. Pivoting to baseball last night, loser with the Toronto Blue Jays, but hey, it was plus 175, so I can take that all day, every day. Then we had the Atlanta Braves. They walked it off, avoided the sweep against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So big win there for the Bravos. The Tampa Bay Rays just pivoting back to them. 30 home runs, 7 more than second place in the Major League Baseball, which is the Cardinals, believe it or not. Cardinals have gotten hot. Ohtani and Mike Trout both homer to give the Angels the sweep over the Boston Red Sox. So a lot going on there in baseball. Looking at today, running down through, the games start early. 12:35 Eastern time. St. Louis Cardinals will visit the Cincinnati Reds. The St. Louis Cardinals will be pitching Mike McCauliffe. It's kind of like Julian Goulian. So they'll be pitching him. The Cincinnati Reds will go with Luke Weaver, who's been absolutely horrific. Poor Weaver. But McCauliffe, 2-1 with a 4.77 ERA, 1.48 WHIP, averaging 5 1/3 innings pitched. Luke Weaver, 1-2 with a 6.54. Reds got the win last night in this matchup. Again, over-under set at 10. The over 4-0 in the Cardinals' last 4 road games. The over is 8-0 in the Cardinals' last 8 versus a team with a losing record. The Reds are 0-4 in their last 4 home games versus a right-handed starter. And the over is 4-0 in the Reds' last 4 versus a team with a losing record. So, again, Cardinals have been hot lately. They've rose all the way up to the 5th-ranked offense in Major League Baseball. 16 is where the Reds set, so about middle of the pack. In their last 3 starts, McCauliffe, he's 1-0, but the Cardinals are actually 3-0 in his last 3 starts. He's averaging 5 2/3 with a 1.10 WHIP, 2.6 ERA. Luke Weaver 1-0 in his starts, but 1-1 1 and 2 are the Reds in his starts. 5 1/3, 5.17 ERA here. McCollis, his last 10 starts versus the Reds. The Cardinals have lost 2 of the last 3, but won the 4 before that. The only time he really got roughed up from him back July 24th last year, 5 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. In Weaver's last 10 starts overall that he pitches, his teams are 2 and 8. 2 and 8. All right, so that's not going to get it done there for old Luke Weaver.
Not very good, but there were some worse than us. I guess that's one positive way to look at it.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that and all your support. So, again, right now with the Cardinals, they're laying Cardinals laying $1.65 here on the Rizzo Compact plus $1.40 with the Cincinnati Reds. Again, I hate laying that amount of wood on the road. It's actually crept up to $1.70. I just refreshed here. Comeback 144 with the Reds. Probably be a stay away for me again. I just don't like laying that big of a number on the road. It's bad enough when I lay that big of a number at home. So really have no interest in doing it on the road. 1:10 Eastern time. Toronto Blue Jays visit the Tampa Bay Rays, who continue to stay hot. Tampa Bay minus $1.48. Toronto plus 125 on the comeback. Alex Manoah will get the call for the Blue Jays. He's been a phenomenal pitcher, but it hasn't been so this year. 1-4 with a 5.15 ERA, 1.74 WHIP, averaging 5 innings pitched. Zach Eflin will get the call for the Rays. 6-1 with a 3.45 and a flat 1 WHIP. Your over/under is set at 8.5. Over 5-0 in the Blue Jays' last 5 overall, and the over is 4-0 in the Blue Jays' last 4 games following a loss. Tampa Bay Rays, the over is 5-0 in their last 5 games. The over 6-0 in their last 6 games following a win. And the over is 5-0, the over is 7-0 in their last 7 versus the American League East. Toronto right now 2-8 over their last 10 games, but 5-3 in the last 8 meetings here for the Blue Jays. When you dive more into the pitching matchup over their last 3 starts, Manoah, that's where he's really taken a beating from where he was. 0-2, the Blue Jays are 0-3 in those starts, though. He's only averaging 4 2/3 innings pitched, 6.28 ERA. The over has been 3-0 in those games. Zach Eflin 2-1, averaging 6 1/3, 1.05 WHIP with an ERA of 5.21. And the over 2 out of the 3 games it's went over there. Again, Manoah, the Blue Jays have lost 4 straight of his starts and have lost 6 of his last 7 starts. So he's really, really struggled. Eflin so far this year has only made 1 start. Manoah has only made 1 start against the Rays this year. That was a game he went 4 2/3, gave up 7 runs back on April 16th. Lifetime when he pitches, though, 5-3 are the Blue Jays against Tampa Bay Rays. Zach Eflin, he's had a really good year. So far, he's made 8 starts. Tampa Bay has won 7 of the 8 starts, so 7-1 when Eflin starts this year for them. But against the Blue Jays, when he throws, his teams are 1-2, 0 runs in the last start back in 2020. Again, look, Tampa Bay minus $1.48. I think Manoah is the better pitcher, but he hasn't acted like it. My lean here would have to go to the Tampa Bay Rays for sure. Next game on the docket, rotation number 953, the Miami Marlins visiting 954, the Colorado Rockies. Marlins laying $1.25 on the road, comeback plus 110 with the Colorado Rockies. 2 southpaws in this one will start the flamethrowing. Braxton Garrett, 1-2 with a 4.60 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, averaging 4 2/3 innings pitched. Kyle Freeland will get the call for the Rockies. 4-5 with a 3.88, 1.24 whip, 5.5 and a third innings pitched. Your over-under set at 10.5. The under is 5-0 in Garrett's last 5 starts after allowing 2 runs or less in their previous game. Rockies 0-4 in their last 4 games versus a left-handed starter. The over 3-0 and 1 in the Rockies' last 4 games with the total set at 9 to 10.5. The Marlins are 2-10 the last 12 meetings in Colorado. And the over in those have hit 9 out of the 4 times. Yesterday, the Marlins exploded 10-2 over Colorado. Colorado just couldn't get anything going. The Marlins, they finally got Alcantara some run support for like the first time all year. In their last 3 starts, the Marlins, when Braxton Garrett takes the rosin bag, 2-1. 2.7 ERA. Kyle Freeland 1-2 with a 4.2 ERA. So Freeland, though, overall he's been pretty decent. His past couple starts have been a little rougher. Garrett's been a little better. Garrett in his last 10 starts, or his last 8 starts, because he's pitched 8. The Miami Marlins are 6-2 when he starts. His only start against Colorado came last year. On June 23rd, they won 3-2. He pitched 4 2/3, giving up 1 run. Freeland, little different in his last 8 starts that he's went. The Rockies have lost 6 of those. So, his last start against Colorado or against Miami, he threw 7 innings, giving up 2 earned back on June 23rd. So 1-2 lifetime against the Rockies. If I had to make a play on this game, I would lead Miami minus the 125 probably, but just nothing that entices me. Next game on the card, 4:05 Eastern Time, rotation number 955. The San Diego Padres will visit the Washington Nationals, rotation number 956. Padres will send Blake Snell to the hill. Nationals will send Jake Irvin. Padres in this one laying $1.90, comeback 160 with the Washington Nationals. Absolutely no way in the world I can lay that number with the Padres right now. The Oakland A's have scored more runs than the San Diego Padres. So, with that being said, in these teams, Padres are only a game better at 22-27, where the Nats are 21-28. The Padres should be much, much better, but they haven't played well or played up to their potential at all. As a matter of fact, I mean, they've been a little bit of a dumpster fire here in the early going of the season. Snell, the southpaw, get the call for him, 1-6 with a 5.40 ERA, 5 innings pitched. Jake Irvin, 1-2 with a 5.5, 4 2/3 innings pitched. Padres 0-5 in Snell's last 5 road starts. Over is 4-0 in the Nationals' last 4 games following a win. Padres 8-4 in their last 12 in Washington. Again, I just want no parts of it. Look, just because of value, sometimes you don't make a play on teams, you make a play on value. Again, I'm not going to bet this game, I don't believe. I'll have to get into more of the work later on. Like I said, this is just meant to give you guys a quick rundown, quick stuff to feed you with a little 30-minute expo of things. But if I had to make a bet on this game, I would definitely take the Washington Nationals plus $1.60. Just play based off of value. And how can you lay $1.90 with the San Diego Padres right now? You just can't do it. If you're willing to do that, if you're willing to lay $1.90 on the road with a team that's 22-28, and look, you might say, well, John, you've been a loser the past month and a half. You're absolutely right. Really, the past 2 months, if you take it back to mid-March. Past 2 months have been as bad as it's been for me in a long, long time. However, I still got to stick to my guns and my rules, or I'm never going to get out of this. And if you go laying $1.90 on the road with a team that's 6 games under 500, you will go broke and you'll never make any money. So there's my lesson, my dad's speech of the day. Speaking of which, did y'all hear the rumor about butter? Nah, I don't want to be the one to spread it. You know what I mean? Y'all get that? Anybody? Nobody got that? Nothing? Oh, thank you. That makes me feel a little better. All right, Chicago White Sox, rotation number 965, visit the Detroit Tigers, rotation number 966. This game will be at 6:40 Eastern Time. Lucas Giolito will get the call for the White Sox. Alex Faedo will get the call for the Detroit Tigers. Right now, White Sox laying $1.40 on the road, comeback plus 120. Giolito 3-3 with a 3.62 ERA, averaging 6 innings pitched. Faedo 0-2 with a 4.60 ERA. The under 7-0 in the White Sox last 7 overall. It sets at 8.5 right now. The under 5-0 in the White Sox last 5 games where they've had a win. Tigers 0-4 in Faedo's last 4 starts on grass. 0-4 in Faedo's last 4 home starts versus a team with a losing record. So he has struggled a ton. White Sox 44-19 the last 63 meetings, and the White Sox 7-1 the last 8 meetings in Detroit. Again, based off of just that, and there's more research that goes into it, but you would have to lean White Sox. But again, can you really trust laying $1.40 on the road with the White Sox? I mean, that's just really hard to do. Giolito in his last 3, 2-1, averaging 6 innings pitched, 1.17 WHIP, 3.50 ERA. The under has went under 3, or the game has went under all 3 of those starts. Alex Faedo 0-2. His team is 0-3 though. He's averaging 5 1/3 innings pitched, a .83 WHIP, but a 4.60 ERA. So, it doesn't really tell the whole story there. And he's 1-2, as far as overs are concerned. So again, another trend towards the under. Giolito in his last, 6 starts, the White Sox have won 2 of those. In Giolito's last, 5 starts against the Tigers, he's only won 1 of those when he pitches. The White Sox have. So when Giolito's on the hill against the Tigers, he's 1-4 in his last 5, and he's the White Sox are 1-5 or 1-4 in his last 5, and the White Sox, when Giolito pitches against the Tigers, are 3 wins, 7 losses. So again, we just were talking about all those other trends. Say, hey, $1.40 White Sox would be the lean. Now I'm like, how can you lay $1.40? But when you just look a little deeper, and there's even deeper you can go, and I will go. Look, I just watched the Tigers go to a red hot St. Louis team and put runs up on them. I just can't subscribe to that. Faedo's had 3 starts. He's never faced the White Sox, but he's over 5, 6, and 4 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 3, 3, and 2 runs. So you would assume the White Sox would get some runs here. Again, this is just a game I don't have any interest in, but if I was going to bet the game, I would actually probably lean Tigers now, the more I look at it. Again, you got to look at value with a home dog. And you say, well, how can you take Faedo? Well, it's not that I think the guys do, but both of these teams, especially the Tigers, they're going to get into the bullpen about the 4th inning. So now it would be, okay, I got to break down the bullpen, who's pitched the past couple days, who typically throws when they play the White Sox, how they do against those batters in the White Sox order. That would be the next couple steps I go and take it to even see if the Tigers are worth taking a play. But again, on the surface, just a little bit I've given you. Again, nothing really tickles my fancy. Baltimore Orioles, Kyle Gibson, rotation number 967, will visit the New York Yankees, rotation number 968. Kyle Gibson will get the call for the O's. Clark Schmidt will get the call for the Yankees. In this, Yankees laying $1.30, comeback plus 112 on the Orioles. Gibson 5-3 with a 4.27 ERA. Schmidt 2-4 with a 6 ERA, averaging 4 2/3. Your over/under sets at 9. The over 5-0 in the Orioles' last 5 games on a Thursday. They love Thursdays. Over 4-0 in the Orioles' last 4 against the American League East. The over 9-0 in the Yankees' last 9 home games. So that's pretty crazy. Over 7-0 in the Yankees' last 7 games versus a team with a win percentage above 600. The over 4-1 the last 5 meetings. The Orioles are 20-49 the last 69 meetings against the Yankees. The over is 35-17. 35 times it's went over out of the last 52. Urias, he's still out till early June for the Orioles. Orioles bringing the 8th best offense. Yankees the 12th. Defensively, Yankees the 8th. Orioles the 11th. So, really, these two teams are going to be in the wild card hunt and the division hunt. I mean, look, the Rays don't have this thing sewed up yet. So, I mean, I get it. They're the best team in baseball, yada, yada, yada. But look, I fully think that the Orioles and the Yankees both are dangerous. And look, even though they're in the basement and they're 9.5 games back, I think the Toronto Blue Jays got way too much talent not to make some kind of a run. Now, they may not catch the division, but I think they're going to make some kind of run towards the wild card. Gibson in his last 3, 1-2 with a 3.50 ERA. Schmidt 2-1 with a 6.32. Schmidt's just been the beneficiary of a lot of run support there. Gibson against the New York Yankees in his last 10 starts, no matter what team he's been with, 0-10 are his teams. 0-10. It's pretty rough, right? That's you're 0-10 every time your team versus the Yankees.
Telling me there's a chance.
Nah, not really. So, anyway, Schmidt, the Yankees have won 3 of his last 4 starts after losing 3 straight. Schmidt faced the Orioles back on April 7th this year, a game which Baltimore won 7-6. Schmidt went 3 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. With Gibson, I mean, look, I don't like Schmidt, but look, I would probably take the dog in this one. Again, not that I feel like Gibson's due, but I feel like the offense here can carry the O's. Aaron Nola, the Phillies, rotation number 957, facing Atlanta Braves, rotation number 958, and their lefty Dylan Dodd. Get into that a little bit later. Right now, the Phillies laying 112 on the road, come back minus 105 on the Braves. I want to really dive into that game. My initial reaction is Atlanta. I think that walk-off win against the Dodgers, avoiding the sweep last night, was huge for them. So I want to look at that a little bit more. 7:40 Eastern time, rotation number 959, the New York Mets, facing 960, the Chicago Cubs. The Mets will send Carlos Carrasco to the bump. Kyle Hendricks will get the call for the Cubbies. Cubbies minus 120, comeback plus 102 on the Mets. Carrasco 0-2 with an 8.68 ERA. That guy just hasn't been the same. At one time with the Indians, man, Carrasco was just an absolute dangerous pitcher. Hendricks, this will be his first call to the mound this year. The Mets 5-0 when Carrasco pitches on a Thursday. Go figure. Mets now go to 9-25 the last 34 meetings with the Cubbies. Again, the only thing I don't like is when a pitcher's making, I lean Cubs, right? But I don't like when a pitcher's making his first start of the season in the middle of the season, right? When he's coming off of an injury or whatever. Because typically when that happens, it's hard to count on a pitcher going 6-7 innings these days in Major League Baseball anyway. But this is going to be his first real start in a game with the pitch clock, right? With, new rules. And on top of it, when you typically have a guy in the middle or, first half of the season that's making his first start or whenever during the season, typically that guy's on a pitch limit. And so you're looking at 3 to 4 innings. So again, goes back to like the Tigers game, but for different reasons. Now those games take extra work to break down because now I got to start breaking down bullpens, right? So where I go through how's Hendricks did against the Mets. Well, now that really doesn't matter as much as now I got to look at how those bullpen guys, each and every pitcher did this year. How have they did historically against not just the Mets, but now I got to go into the batters in the Mets lineup, in their matchup. So, again, that's just to kind of give some insight. Again, Hendricks' first start, I would stay away. but my lean would be Cubs just because they've absolutely dominated the Mets. Last game on the board is the Oakland A's. And remember, like I said, 2 games on the board. Rotation number 969 against 970. Oakland A's will visit the Seattle Mariners. Mariners send Logan Gilbert. JP Sears, the southpaw, get the call for the A's. Mariners minus 230. Comeback plus 195 for the Oakland A's. Again, like I said, any game that features the Oakland A's, I just don't want any parts of it right now. I mean, that team is 10-41. They're on pace to lose 130 games. I mean, throw the Mariners in a parlay, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know with who, but throw them in something. Anything. The other game, I don't have pitchers yet for this one. 7:40 Eastern time. Rotation number 961. The San Francisco Giants will be facing 962. The Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers 15-9 at home. Giants 9-14 on the road, though the Giants have played better as of late. Again, I don't have any line on this one. I don't have any pitchers on this one, so that's a game you'll have to look at as the day goes on, right? And where that falls. Again, just to reiterate, touching back on tonight, 8:10 Eastern time, you'll get the Vegas Knights visiting the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars, it's now $7.28, plus 105 on the comeback for the Vegas Knights. Again, conventional wisdom would say the Stars, show a little bit of heart. But look, I've got burnt so much with that. Again, who knows? The favorites have gotten destroyed. And again, that's the more frustrating part is I'm not a favorite better. I'm more of a contrarian. And then it just goes to show every time I bet these favorites in playoffs or tournaments or whatever, I just get destroyed. So, learn my lesson there. We'll finish the hockey 20-25. Not good at all, but hey, now we got to have a great baseball season. We have to have a phenomenal football season, and we have to have a phenomenal college basketball year and NBA regular season and NHL season. So look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been crappy. I've been horrible at picking these, since the calendar year started April 1st. But it's May 25th. You're 2 months in. Like I said, I'm going to lose 8 to 12 or 8. I'm going to win 7 to 8 months out of the year. I'm going to lose 4 to 5 of them. But when the smoke clears, I'm still going to be 150 games over. I've been that way for 13 years in a row. I definitely have some work to do, but hey, we'll chip away at it. Miami Heat, just to wrap up again with the Boston Celtics. Celtics laying 8.5. Money line minus 300 on the Celtics. Comeback plus 246 with the Miami Heat. Again, I lean Heat plus 8.5 or 9, wherever that ends up falling. I think, and Boston may win the game again, but these underdogs in these NBA conference finals, both West and East, you've had 8 games now, and the underdog has covered all 8. Now, I went with that same theory with the under in hockey last night and got burned again. First over under in forever, and I get hammered going with the 5-1 in the unders. But I like the Heat here. Non-official play again, just the lean. I feel like I definitely know I'm done with NHL, but there may be a play or two with basketball, but this isn't going to be official again. I'm just giving you my opinion here on the Heat. So Thursday, let's have a great day, folks. Again, hug your kids, hug your family, be gratitude. Have a feeling of gratitude and an energy and an excitement about you with life. Bad stuff happens. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. And sometimes we take certain things way too serious or we worry. Don't worry about stuff you can't control. Give that to God. Just focus on being a great person and living your life each and every day to try to help people and stay close in your faith. And you guys have a blessed day. Love you, my winners.